What's up, bro? That's not nice.
See, this is why they need Eric the Fox.
That's why they need Eric the Fox to tell you.
Because they look nice at first, and then they flip you off in the end.
Oh my goodness, we're learning so much about you, Michael, on this podcast. This is just got real.
The Comic Indie Podcast theme song.
It's a podcast for comic books. What else would you expect?
Welcome to Comic Indie Podcast. My name is Kenneth Javier.
Today is a very special day for the Comic Indie Podcast. We are broadcasting live into a microphone that's going into a laptop, which will later be uploaded to a different computer at home, edited, and put up on the internet. But what makes this one special is we are doing it live in NANs Games and Comics, located in the great city of Houston, Texas, on Shepherd and 59. NANs Games and Comics, they have been a staple in the community for the games, not video games, but board games. Jose, what's the best game you sell here?
Oh, Magic.
Magic. I heard Magic, right?
Magic.
All right, it's
That's
Magic
what I
time. That's what it is. So definitely NANs Games and Comics on Shepherd and 59. They've been here for the past 30 years. Where have you been? They're waiting for you. That's an unofficial plug for NANs. So if y'all want me to change that up, guys, I can. If y'all don't like it, you hate it, we won't even put it in. Keep it. Jose says keep it. What do you think, Mike?
I say it's a keeper.
All right. Okay. So speaking of Mike, we are joined by a special guest, Mike Veroni. So Michael, would you say you are a comic book fan?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. What are some of the books you read?
Okay, so no, I'm not a comic book fan
No, that's
necessarily,
okay,
but
it's
I
okay.
like, I'm growing up. I did read Batman, Spider-Man, all those.
Okay.
The main ones.
I wasn't trying to put you on the spot,
Right.
But now be honest with me. All right. How uncomfortable were you at the end of Get Out?
It kind of felt a little bit dangerous to be a white person, you know?
Okay, anyway, so we're not here to talk about Get Out, but we are here to talk about Motor Girl, written by Terry Moore, published by Abstract Studio, recommended by Brian at NANs Games and Comics on the trade paperback wall. Basically, we came into the store and say, hey, Brian, what's good to read? He said, read Motor Girl. We read it, and here we are. So Terry Moore, a little bit about Terry Moore. He is a homegrown creator who's been doing it for years and years and years, so very well established in the comic community. But, definitely it's a cool thing to do a book on something local, something that, represents, is this the down south city that shows no pity, Michael?
It is.
How much pity does it show?
None.
Exactly. So let's go ahead and jump into Terry Moore's Motor Girl. So
right.
It is about a veteran that's actually come home from which war, I don't know, but basically this veteran is a female character by the name of Samantha. Samantha has an imaginary gorilla friend named Mike. Could be Michael. But, with it being imaginary, nobody sees the gorilla except Samantha. So, we're not really quite knowing what's going on in Samantha's head, but we do know that she does have some PTSD going on from the war.
Right.
So, Samantha's skill is that she is mechanically inclined, so she basically can, fix cars and fix other mechanical items. You actually find her at the beginning of the story working in a junkyard, piecing out parts for vehicles, going over to the computer, and then basically letting them know, hey, I have your parts, and you can come pick it up. So, this junkyard is kind of like in a desolate desert area, really hot outside. I think they reference it being like 110, 114 degrees, and so to cool themselves off, they like to drink. What beverage do you think they like to drink?
Water?
Water is a good choice, but in this book, Motor Girl, they love Coke Zero. What do you think about Coke Zero, Michael?
It's delicious, and it has less calories, or no calories.
Okay. Coke Zero or Pepsi, what's the Pepsi one called?
Gonna have to go with Pepsi Max. It's Pepsi
Max.
Yeah.
Pepsi Max versus Coke Zero. I don't know if we can be friends, Michael, after this, but it's okay. We'll move forward.
Right.
It is hot outside. They're enjoying their Coke Zero, and Sam, or she goes by Samantha or Sam, either or, she gets a proposition from the owner of the place saying, hey, this rich guy's offered me a lot of money to sell this junkyard. Not really sure why, but, I kind of, care about you as a person, and your opinion means a lot to me, so I won't sell it if you don't want to. So, of course, Sam's not I don't know what to do in any events, but again, that's kind of where, more of the story will kind of unfold. So this is kind of like a junkyard, not really a lot going out there. It's a hot desert. Why does this rich guy want to buy it? Who knows, right? So later on that day, would you believe it, that something came to visit her that night or come to the junkyard? What do you think came to visit them?
A UFO?
How'd you know it was a UFO, Michael?
I read the back of the book.
You read the back of the book. Very well done, sir. So, yes, it is a UFO, but that UFO is in need of either some type of brake check or some type of Midas touch because it is broken.
Right.
And Sam, being the mechanically inclined person that she is, she's able to fix it. I don't know if it's, changing out the belt or the radiator or it's the alternator. It's always the alternator, isn't it?
Right.
Right.
Or it would have been interesting if it just ran out of fuel and it needed more Coke Zero.
Wow. So in any event, the UFO does come down. She fixes it. She thinks it's a dream. The next morning she realizes it's not a dream, or maybe it is. Who knows? But now the rich man who wants to buy the property gets a little bit more aggressive. He doesn't actually go there himself, but he sends two henchmen by the name of Vic and Larry, right? So Vic and Larry, just one really big guy, one really bald guy, and they're basically just saying, hey, my boss wanted me to give you this check with a bunch of zeros on it, and we'd like to make this deal happen. Does that deal happen, Michael?
I don't think it does.
It does not happen, but, they are really into this, so then you start to go into the storyline of Vic and Larry, and now the boss is basically just kind of giving them an order. He's saying, why haven't you sold this property yet? Why haven't they taken this money yet? And basically the boss tells him, Vic and Larry, this is not what I asked for, and you guys better get on it. You ever have that situation happen with the boss, where he's not happy about something?
Yeah, that happens a lot.
That happens a lot. That boss sounds like a jerk, but it's okay. Do you like what you do?
It's all right.
It's all right. Hey, you know what? All right is all right, right? So we'll go with that. So Vic and Larry are obviously, under the gun by their boss and having to meet a deadline and doing some high pressure selling of their own.
Under pressure.
Samantha does not like to be pressured.
Right.
Because, Vic and Larry, they're not trying to pressure her.
Right.
They just can't stop thinking about her. And they just really want to buy the junkyard.
Okay.
Did you get it?
No.
No, yeah, that was a bad reference. So in any event, they're doing some high pressure selling on the owner, and so
I just got it.
You got it. Now see how many seconds was that? That was several seconds.
15 too many.
15 seconds too many. So that was a Music Soul Child reference.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
If you are an adult of the '90s, or maybe a later teen, what do you call a 17-year-old? Is that a old teen?
A 17-year-old?
If you are a 17-year-old of the '90s, and you wanted to really get to know a woman, you put that on a mixed CD. And it doesn't work. I'm just telling you.
No,
it does
they never
not.
work. They never do.
They never do. They never do.
Burn them for yourself.
Just
if you still have that
burn those
capability.
CDs for yourself, right? Okay. Speaking of CDs, and not to go on a tangent here, but my dad was a huge Mambo No. 5 fan, right? You remember Mambo No. 5?
Yeah, I feel sorry for you.
Right. Joe Vega or Joe Vega? What was his name?
I believe it was V as in vacation.
So
Vega.
Joe Vega. So
Yeah.
so my dad, he would love to burn CDs.
Yeah.
But he would never use the repeat function because he just didn't like to push that button, and he thought it was going to mess things up. So when he would burn a CD, he would put the same song that he would like on like 10 times in a row. I kid you not.
So when you were a kid, you had a little bit of Monica in your life?
Hey.
Right?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the girl's name. Was there a Jessica in there?
By your side, yeah.
Oh, okay. Who's the one that was all night long?
Erica?
Was it Erica all night long?
I don't know.
Who knows? Okay. Anyways, back to Samantha in Motor Girl.
Right.
So where did we stop?
We're kind of talking about these two guys, Vic and Larry, that are kind of like a friendly Bebop and Rocksteady with a checkbook.
They are very Bebop and Rocksteady-ish, right? But they're not animals, though.
No,
but
they're guys.
But the dynamic of them is very Bebop and Rocksteady. So, but yeah, high pressure sales. The boss is upset. They want to really get this property. So, Frank and Larry have to scheme an idea of, well, how do we get the lady? The lady's name is Libby. Is the owner.
Right.
And Samantha is the veteran who works in the junkyard. So what needs to happen is they think of an idea as, well, what if we kidnap Samantha?
Okay.
All right? Kind of just use her as some type of leverage, and that will pressure Libby into selling the property. So they try, and do you think this kidnapping works?
I'm gonna say no.
Okay. Hey, you're right again. Are you sure you didn't read this book, Michael?
I'm sure.
All right. So the kidnapping
Only the back.
is thwarted by Samantha because basically he just tries to jump out of a van, and as he leaps to grab her, she does like a right cross to the face, and it just does not work. Later that evening, they tried to go for round 2, but this go round, some aliens abduct Larry. right?
Okay.
So what's going on with that? So Vic is by himself. Larry is now MIA, and Samantha finds Vic. And again, we'll just kind of leave it at that. Don't want to give too much away, but there's something a little bit more to these aliens. So, kind of finishing off the trade, and this trade again goes through books 1 through 5. We do see Mr. Walton or Mr. Walden, and he does finally, and this is the big rich guy, right?
Right.
He finally does confront both the owner Libby and Samantha, saying, "Look, I really want this property. It's just something I really need. I'm going to give you a day to think about it. We're just going to go set up camp on the outside," right? So they're looking at camp on the outside. It's literally a camp with like tents and other things. And this guy's rich. He has like so many things going on. And there's some type of I don't know what it looks like, a satellite or some type of machinery, just something out of this world, and it just kind of looks kind of devious in a way. So definitely, doomsday device-ish looking, and Samantha and Libby are not down with that. Before the book ends, you do actually run back into Larry, but now Larry is up on a ship, and what do you think Larry sees?
Aliens?
He does see aliens, but more so, what are some other things that aliens are up to?
Other planets?
Okay, all right. So yeah, other planets, possibly that too. So actually, the aliens are doing some type of experiments on humans, and I forgot to mention, and we probably should have said this earlier in the beginning of the book. These aliens are very enduring. What's the one like if they're cute or they're kind of nice looking? Enduring endearing. Very endearing aliens.
Okay.
And they look friendly. They make little Pokemon noises. They don't use words. They just say beep and bips all day long, like the bippins and the boppins and the hippins and the hoppins, right? So
Right.
they do that. But now towards the end, they're a little bit meaner. Throwing up, what would you call that symbol he's holding on his hand?
Kind of looks like he's flipping him off.
He is flipping them off with not the right, not the left, but that finger in the middle. So these beeping, bopping aliens may not be so nice, and that's kind of where we end book 1. So let's kind of break down the characters a little bit. Sam, or Samantha, she is a woman,
Right?
female veteran, has some type of trauma going on or PTSD. Definitely seeing an imaginary friend in the name of Mike. Now Mike, he has a little bit of a sense of humor, right?
Okay.
So definitely Mike was telling this one story about wanting to be on the beach looking at girls playing volleyball, and then all of a sudden Scarlett Johansson comes along, and then she gets jealous at Mike because he's staring at the girls playing volleyball. And I just thought that was a very funny scene, all the while he's drinking Coke Zero, right?
Yeah.
So
It sounds like Mike might be a little bit bananas himself.
Mike might be a little bananas himself. Did you just do that? Oh my goodness, Michael. That is amazing. So, so what do you think the gorilla's persona is, or what do you think that's representing for Samantha? Obviously, it's not a real gorilla, but it's an imaginary friend.
Without having a chance to read the book, which I really do want to do now to see what happens.
All right.
I would say he just fills whatever void is vacated due to her PTSD.
Okay.
I don't know what that is yet.
Do you think the gorilla is some type of family figure, or do you think that maybe Samantha likes Scarlett Johansson and wants to make her jealous by staring at other ladies at the beach?
No. Well, I don't know about that second part, but it just from what I can see from the cover and everything, it looks like he's possibly sort of a big brother type figure.
Okay,
kind of a enforcer, protector type.
Okay, so the enforcer, protector, big brother persona. I get it. Okay, so did you have any imaginary friends growing up?
No.
If you had an imaginary friend, what would it be, and what would be its powers or traits?
It's a really big question. I have to come back to you on that.
No, because you got to answer now. That's the point of the interview. So
Okay.
So give us something, Michael.
I'm just gonna go with the fox named Eric that could tell me what women are thinking.
Eric Fox, that reads the mind of women, for Michael Veroni.
That's what we're gonna go with.
All right, that's very insightful.
That's my best answer.
That is your best answer. Okay, all right, okay. So let's move on to these aliens here. Now,
right.
These aliens, obviously much smaller than Samantha, much smaller than Mike the gorilla.
Right.
They probably stand maybe about 3 feet tall. They look like little bears, not quite Ewok-ish, but they basically don't say anything except expressions on the face.
Right.
They look angry. They look sad. They say beep and they say bick.
And they flip you off.
And they flip you off in the end. It's kind of like when you thought somebody was nice and then they weren't nice,
Yeah.
and it was all like, What's up, bro? That's not nice.
See, this is why they need Eric the Fox.
That's why they need Eric the Fox to tell you.
Because they look nice at first, and then they flip you off at the end.
Oh my goodness, we're learning so much about you, Michael,
right?
on this podcast. This just got real.
Y'all just happen to pick names, Samantha and Libby,
Yeah.
which just happens to be people from my past.
Look, I can't make this up. This is all Terry Moore. All right. I'm not Terry Moore. All right. I would like to interview Terry Moore maybe
Are you
one
Terry
day.
Moore?
I'm not Terry Moore, but I think Terry Moore is a fantastic writer and artist. But let's go ahead and talk about Vic and Larry. So you do come to find out in the book that Larry is the brother-in-law of Vic, and Vic is kind of like the bigger, more alpha male type, and Larry is just kind of like, you know, the dunce or the guy kind of hanging around. Actually, Larry gets choked out in the book, which is hilarious, by the way. Anytime somebody's being choked out in a comic format, it's great. In real life, not so great.
Yeah.
Right. But in any event, you know, you kind of got to feel for these guys. You know, they're hired to do a job, right? But you know, obviously they're not doing a good job. And you know, now their work-life balance is all kind of askew, right? Because you know they don't know what's going on. We can also talk about Mr. Walden, the rich guy who wants the land. I don't know. You think he's a good guy? You think he's a bad guy? What do you think? Do you think he's a government official?
Possibly.
Okay. So, and what I like about this is because when you see, you know, the aliens at first, really nice, really nice. Then towards the end, not so nice, right? And again, maybe it might have been a playful, I'm going to give you a middle finger, right? But it didn't look very playful.
It didn't look playful just from the drawing that happened to be open to that page.
Right. Definitely not a playful middle finger.
Looked like it was with malicious intent.
When do you think it is appropriate to give somebody the middle finger, Michael?
Right now?
Oh my goodness, so quick. Okay. In addition to right now, when else do you think it's appropriate to flip somebody the bird?
When you get cut off on 59.
When you get cut off on 59. You know what else is on 59? NANs Games and Comics, located on Shepherd 59 in the great city of Houston, Texas.
They're here. Why aren't you?
They're here. Why aren't you?
I'm just saying.
Unofficial plugs. Look at that. Definitely very much appreciated. Okay, so we've kind of gone down the cast of characters. We've kind of talked about kind of what's going on. Let's talk about what potentially could come next.
Okay. In book 2?
Well, no, technically this is a trade paperback, so this has 5 books. In book 6 is where we would go. What are your predictions? We just discovered that these aliens might not be as nice as you think they are. Samantha is going through some PTSD drama. You know, talking to her gorilla friend. What happens? What are your predictions?
Really, just, you know, a guesstimate. I don't really know what happens for sure. But I'm going to guess that somehow Larry comes back from the ship.
Okay.
And has some insight about the aliens.
Okay.
And that we get some more. We get a more in-depth look at why Mr. Walden, why he wanted to buy that land. Maybe some info as to what's on the land that he feels that it's so valuable.
Okay. I like that. Okay. Yeah, definitely. I agree with you. I think we're going to see definitely more into these aliens that aren't so cute and cuddly, and or maybe that was an innocent middle finger. Who knows what it is? You know,
it really didn't look innocent though.
It didn't look innocent. Okay. All right. So if you want to see how innocent this middle finger looks, you got to pick up a copy of Terry Moore's Motor Girl. Definitely a very good read. So let's go ahead and take this book to school. Art-wise, looking at this book, definitely really enjoyed the art of it. Now this is a black and white book, so there's no color basically except on the cover itself. But you know what? I don't really think you even need the color in this book to kind of convey you know, the emotions or kind of what's going on with that. So definitely going to give this one an 8. Originality wise, so don't know that I've heard too many stories about PTSD mechanics who encounter, you know, UFOs and fix them, and then all of a sudden, you know, now is trying to be kidnapped but not kidnapped unsuccessfully. So I like the story. I like the originality of it.
And if you had heard of one, did they drink Coke Zero?
And they didn't drink Coke Zero.
Think so.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned that, because I love these little small nuances about the Coke Zero, about the Scarlett Johansson. They even reference a Ford F-250 in this book, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like, you know, you don't see a lot of that. Or like they change it to like a Fad F-360 or something like that. Or they'll say like, you know, Roke Zero or something, but you know, hey, they say what they like and they put it in here. So very well done, Terry Moore. Story wise, I'm gonna go ahead and give this one a 9. So I did give originality a 9, story a 9. Again, just very very, very, very good page turner. Definitely looking forward to the next trade paperback or book number 6. So, doing the math on this one, art-wise, originality-wise, and story-wise, they get a grand average of 8.666666. So let's just give it the 8.66 with the line above it, and making this book comic indie certified. So definitely want to give a big thanks to you, Michael, for joining us
thanks
on
for having me
the
here.
Comic Indie Podcast. So one last question. So really, how uncomfortable were you at the end of Get Out?
That's all we have time for today.
I'm just kidding. So no, definitely want to give a big thanks to both Donnie, Jose, and Brian at NANs Games and Comics, located on Shepherd in 59. A huge staple in the community. So very appreciative of the support that you've given to the Comic Indie group. Also, just a little plugs about Comic Indie. Draw Fight Episode 2 will be hitting y'all very soon. If you don't know what Draw Fight is, here's the premise. 2 fighters get 10 minutes to draw suggestions from you, the YouTube audience, and the winner is decided by you as well, the YouTube audience. So you could see Batman as a baseball player, you could see Daredevil dressed as a Daredevil stuntman. It really can be anything and everything you, the audience, can imagine. Definitely a lot of great work done on that. Also want to plug the website, comicindie.com. If you have not gone to that site yet, please check it out. Of course, there you can find this show, Comic Indie Podcast, and you can find other things like Draw Fight and also several interviews of local indie artists. If you are interested in being interviewed or possibly being a guest co-host like Michael was today on the Comic Indie Podcast, please contact us on comicindie.com, and we'll be more than happy to have you jump on board. It's just that easy. So, for Comic Indie, I'm Kenneth Javier.
And I'm Michael Veroni.
And thank you for checking out Comic Indie Podcast.
Comic Indie Podcast theme song.
It's a podcast for comic books. What else would you expect? Let it run. You want to do a mic check? Go ahead. Hit us with a mic check, Michael.
Mic check.
Mic check. Is it, you see that? That's your voice right there.
Yeah.
That's it? Is
Yep.
that good? Okay.
That's
hold
good.
on. All right, let's bring it in a little bit closer so we can get a little bit louder. Yeah, a little bit louder now, right? What is that, Mike?
That's a song.
A little bit louder now?
Yeah.
What is that
I think
from?
that's James Brown.
Is that James? That's not James Brown.
Is it not?
I don't think it's James Brown. I think you need to get out of here with that reference.
Okay, wow.
Wow, right?
Wow.
You get
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, I
you
get
it?
it.
Right?
I get
You
it.
get it?
I get
Okay.
it.
All right.